Excuse me, you can't just waltz in there. Do you have an appointment? Oh, you're the one they're waiting for then. Do you need anything else from me before you meet with the board? What I could tell you would get me in a lot of trouble. Most of them are typical C-level execs. I doubt you even need to use your imagination for that. The ones that show up to work day to day, at least. I swear, I've never even met some of them, because they chill at their own private secluded beach homes all the time. Anyway, be smart around Oliver. He's got a way of getting what he wants without you realizing it. And that's all I'll say. People were a little freaked out around here, understandably. It looks so different and it's so massive. We honestly thought we were under attack by an unknown entity. But then, nothing happened. It just stayed there. No one could communicate with it. And we've been very careful not to alert the resort guests. The board believed it would be bad for business. I can't speak for anyone else, but I've got a pretty high-pressure job working as the executive assistant to the Paradiso board. You can imagine, dealing with a team of execs, trying to manage all of their schedules and their other whims. But it pays well, and they give me a nice executive suite at the hotel to live in, so it's not all bad. Free access to all the resort's amenities after work helps too. Sure, have fun in the shark tank. And don't worry, even they call it that.
There are millions of planets out there. People can go to any one of them. The resort facilities are precisely what we bring to the table. Heck, it's the only thing we've really got to offer.
I don't want to risk us coming off as just another artificial, shady, trash-filled dump like Neon. That's not who we are. We've got something special here. We should embrace that.
Balom's right.
Thank you.
We don't want to compete with Neon. Bayou's ruthless. He'll do anything he can to eliminate the competition. We don't need that kind of trouble. That being said, I think there's a middle ground. Maybe build up the beachfront in a boardwalk amusement park. I've had this idea to build artificial hot springs, that sort of thing.
Sounds good. I'll look into what that will cost us and we can circle back around to this.
Hello? I didn't realize Kiwi was letting people in here. Not quite. We just don't answer to the Freestar Collective or the United Colonies. Makes things easier. We don't pay any taxes, we don't need to follow their laws. All the benefits, none of the drawbacks. And no one minds, because half the politicians and other big shots love vacationing here. It works for everyone. We, the Paradiso Group, bought the rights to this planet years ago with the intent of turning it into the biggest and best resort in the universe. To that end, I'd say we've succeeded. As such, no other leisure enterprises may operate on the planet without renting land from us. But as you can see, none can afford such a deal. No, of course not. There's several more. We're just the ones who show up day to day. The others spend their time lazing on the beach or gallivanting off-world. Doesn't bother me, though. Less cooks in the kitchen means I get to make all the big decisions around here. Seems to be working out for us just fine. I am. And you must be the diplomat Jiro told me about. Welcome, welcome. Normally I'd offer you an all-inclusive stay at our resort before we spoke. But given the circumstances, I'm going to cut to the chase. We've got our friends, the aliens, up there, causing all sorts of problems for our resort. You like that? The marketing team came up with it. The thought is, if we can't get rid of them, it might actually attract more tourism. Come see the aliens! We run a premier resort getaway here. We can't have our guests concocting stories about some budgy old ship hanging around up there. As it is, we've had to reroute our luxury liners round the other side of the planet on entry so no one sees it. It's bad for business. We need to nip this in the bud and take care of it before the tourists catch on and cause a scene. You'd be surprised what people fall for. Locally sourced island fruit essences, for instance. It's just the same old fruits brought over from Earth ages ago, but we get nearly 10 times the market for them. But you're right, no one's gonna buy aliens. Remind me to fire the marketing team. So tell me, what's the actual deal with this massive eyesore of a ship, besides scaring people away? Well, that's something. Shame we can't just tell them kindly to bugger off. Something tells me that's not going to work. Now, tell me, what are we going to do about it? Give me some proposals, people. I need something to work with here.
We could offer to resettle them here. There's more than enough space.
They could stay here, temporarily, but it'll cost them. Quite a bit, too. They'd need to work off all their debts before being allowed to leave.
Maybe not. What if we help them get out of here? Outfit their ship with a grav drive so they can find a new home. We could even lend our engineers to help and give their captain an updated star map. What do you think?
Sounds costly. We can't absorb that cost, and it's unlikely they even have compatible currency, let alone enough for the transaction. Someone else would have to foot the bill.
Oh, I swear this would be a lot easier if they ceased to exist entirely. Anyway, Seema's got the right idea. Either works for me. Just tell me what you want to do. We own this planet, they don't. Here at Paradiso, we don't like leaving things to chance. Who knows what these people will do with their land? Imagine the landscaping disasters they might come up with, and how that might mar the satellite imagery of the planet in our brochures. No, much better to assimilate them into our culture if they come here to live, rather than leave it to chance. Thanks for the offer, but my answer is still no. Too much risk involved, and if it goes wrong, then the problem can quickly get out of hand. They settle here, it'll be under our conditions, not theirs. Sorry. They'd be hard-pressed to defend their claim in any courts. Our charter goes back years. It was registered with both the UC and Free Star Collective, per the Centaurus Proclamation. We may be outside the settled systems, but that charter's official as can be. I'm sorry, but you're going to need to be the one to break the news to them that they need to make a compromise or leave. I have no idea, because I'm not suggesting anything of the sort. But it's a wonder that old ship made it all the way here in such a relatively short time. Must have really been pushing themselves. An engineer friend of mine told me once that the reactors on those old ships have a tendency to self-destruct if they overload. Of course, their engineers must have taken great care not to push it too far. Someone would likely have to override the safety systems in the reactor computer. But who would do such a thing?
We better be talking super-duper hypothetically here.
Ah, good on you. You want to see a man named Benny St. James over at Hope Tech. He's the best in the business. If anyone can retrofit a 200-year-old ship with a modern grav drive, it'd be him. We'll coordinate our engineering team with his when you return, though you may have to help the Constance engineers prepare for it on their end. Good luck.
There's a lot of land out there for the taking. It'll be hard. Talk to anyone enlist. But it'll be theirs.
Right. On behalf of the Paradiso Group, we appreciate your help.
We could save valuable weight if we got rid of the pilot seat. Maybe an ottoman? Sure, that sounds like me. What can I do for you? I'm a little busy, but I think I could spare some time. Oh, you should have just said that. Of course I can help you. Oliver sent a courier ahead of you. I did some research on ships from that era, and I have a decent idea what we're dealing with. So grav drives didn't really take off until after the ship was built. But I've got access to an ancient grav drive that looks like it could be compatible. With some minor adjustments. It's in good shape, too. Parts not cheap, though. Neither is the labor. Just pay the combined cost of parts and labor, and it's yours. You're darn right it is. I'll get to work on it right away. I recommend you go back to the ship and ask the captain to prepare for its retrofit. Standard stuff. I'm sure they have an engineer on board to help. We'll send the part along when it's ready and install it with the help of Oliver's people. Pleasure working with you.
If the other colonists knew how many times the Constant almost came apart at the seams... Whew. Well, thankfully, I never let it. What grab drive? Just joking with you. The Paradiso engineers filled me in. Okay, let's see what we need to do. All right. This will be fun. And hopefully there will be no explosions in the process. I have just received word that the drive is here. Ready to get to work? Yes, of course I need your help. My team needs to stay on top of their daily maintenance, and I need to make my own preparations for this gravity drive you brought us. Your help is going to be vital to this procedure. And have no worries, it'll be easy. I'll guide you through the process. You do? Well, this should be a bit easier, though I must remind you, the ship is much older than the ones you're likely used to working on. So, listen to me first. First thing I need you to do is reroute the power from the port turbo pump to the auxiliary cryogenic radiator. Then, turn the plasma runoff inhibitor function to 5%. Last, you'll need to decouple the magnetic flange pipe enclosures from the auxiliary module assembly. Got it? Let's hop to it!
No matter the outcome, I won't let my crew down. Well, well, it would appear we have the means to go nearly anywhere now, thanks to you. The engineers even upgraded our communications equipment so we can speak with passing ships. Turns out it was a pretty easy fix. Thank you again for all you've done. We don't yet know, but we did receive a star map from the Paradiso engineers. I suppose we'll just chart a course for other suitable habitable worlds until we find one that matches the quality of Paradiso. Purima 2 here. Without you, we'd most likely be stuck. But you went above and beyond. I'll make sure people tell tales of your generosity for as long as our society lives. I don't know if we can ever fully repay you. Thank you again.
Folks from all over the Freestar Collective come here looking for work. Not usually. Local security handles most of their issues. Every once in a while, though, we need access to sensitive information as part of our work. Badge or not, some folks aren't fond of letting us poke around in their books and personnel files. Honestly, though, it's not that common. Most people are willing to work with us because they know it's in everyone's best interest. Think of it as a small picture, big picture proposition. The small picture is local trouble, things that happen here in Hopetown. Handling that is local security's job. We Rangers protect the entire Freestar Collective, so we deal with problems that span multiple worlds. Smuggling rings, escaped convicts, pirates preying on shipping. Those are the kind of things we handle. That's why there are Rangers stationed in different settlements. It lets us cast a wide net.
Hey there. Got an update for me? Good work. Now I can let Masako know how much she'll enjoy watching the news tonight. As for your performance, there is that bit of trouble to account for along the way. Believe me, I tried to stick up for you, but Lyndon's a real stickler for details. Now, on to the next, right? Oh, but before I forget, the results of your Astral Lounge escapades are in. I'm happy to say that the deal was officially called off. Masako was pretty happy about the results, so she arranged for a small bonus through Lyndon. It won't buy you a new ship, but it's something. My sources tell me it was a train wreck. Once her numbers didn't match up, Arthur was all over her with questions. It didn't take long for her to break composure, and that's when she lost Zola. So you could say that presentation went perfectly, as far as we're concerned. Hence the bonus. I wouldn't hold your breath on that one. Several other parties will be involved in that deal on a more legitimate level. And believe me, bonuses like this for operatives are few and far between. Not to mention you scored big in the reliability department. It makes this next assignment seem a bit lackluster, but it still carries weight. In order to stay on top of the market, we have to know what our competition is doing. The next assignment requires a more brute force approach, since the chances of them sharing that information is unlikely. Oh, we definitely are. But why stay one step ahead when you can just leave the competition in the dust? We reverse engineer their plans, create a superior product, and beat them to market. We make the initial profit with less investment in R&D, and our competition is forced to reevaluate if their product is even viable. Correction. You are going to steal from them. Don't forget, if you get caught, Ryujin will deny all knowledge. Call it what you want, but it's your job nonetheless. Your target is a prototype schematic for a new engine that Trident Luxury Lines is working on. According to the rumors, it's projected to be 17% more efficient than any engine on the market. The current schematic was sent to their Star Yard to begin prototyping, so they could be in the office area or the factory floor. The Star Yard is a mix of sales floor and manufacturing. If you're looking to blend in, you've definitely got options. It's not too far, in Aquila's orbit, so hopefully your ship's ready. The Trident Star Yard orbits Aquila in the Cheyenne system, so you'll still be in free-star space. I feel bad for whoever gets to inform the executives about the theft of something so valuable. Just remember to keep things clean. The results are more satisfying that way.
Welcome to Trident Luxury Lines, where we craft the finest and most luxurious starships in the galaxy. If you have any questions about our product line or would like to book a cruise, I'll do my very best to assist you. Now, how may I help you today? Is a Trident best in class, top to bottom? No. Clearly no. Deimos has fantastic missile batteries. Stroud Eklund's shields are a thing to behold. But what a Trident may lack in those areas, it more than makes up for in style, luxury, and comfort. A cruise on a Trident can be a truly life-changing experience. We do not sell ships or parts at this location. And it's not like you would have any use for parts or modifications anyway. A Trident ship is already perfect as it is. Unfortunately, all of our cruises are booked for the foreseeable future. That should speak volumes about the quality of our products. Our cruises become more and more popular every year as new models are released. So what we need is lead. We need a small shipment, 500 units of it. Excellent. This invoice has the details. Of course. It's a point of pride to know my employer's products, as well as their strengths and weaknesses. It's a character trait that is extremely valuable. And if I'm being honest, I have my own dreams of going out there one day. It's important to know the pros and cons of each ship, as I'm sure you're well aware.
And what have we here? A pilgrim come to see where space travel is perfected? Welcome to Trident Luxury Lines, makers of the finest and most elegant ships in the settled systems. I envy you. Stepping in here for the first time can be an almost religious experience. I wish I could taste that feeling all over again. Just a lab? Just a lab? Spoken like someone who's never experienced one of our life-changing luxury cruises. Well, I suppose I can't hold that against you. We cater only to the elite, after all. But I digress. Is there anything you need from me? I suppose it is somewhat odd for someone to just waltz down here like you did, but it isn't unheard of either. The Trident name brings visitors. People want to see where the magic happens, you know. The famous Gladys Coffin especially receives many callers. Well, as long as you behave yourself, your visit shouldn't be a problem.
Well, look. A trident isn't about cost. It's about status. It's about making a statement while being pampered like royalty. So, if you have to ask, well then, we might not be for you.
I'm honored to be the head of marketing and advertising here at Trident. It's a job that I take very seriously. Educating the masses about the opulence of our cruises, or the excellence of our models, well, it's simply a privilege to do so. I can't think of any greater satisfaction than this. Of course I do. It's a great honor to work for Trident in this capacity, but it's not all about advertising our products, you see. I'm also marketing hope, something for people to strive for. Enjoying one of our cruises or owning a Trident is a dream for many, as I'm sure you understand. And so my message to the consumer is this. If you work hard enough and put in everything you have, your dream may come true. Then perhaps you should dream a little bigger.
What are you doing here? Philippe didn't say I should be expecting someone. This is the very heart of Trident, and we don't need strays. I find your apology acceptable. Well, I suppose since you're here, enjoy being in the presence of greatness. It's here that we create the next generation of Trident starships. Do random strangers go up to Da Vinci, asking about Mona Lisa's smile? Or interrupt Beethoven in the middle of his symphony? No. Ask Gia or Philippe. Oh, yes, I am. I am Gladys Coffin, Chief Architect of Trident. If you have any other questions, make it fast. Listen, if you want to talk about the max safe tonnage of the Astra or other trivia, ask Gia. Me? I design the future. What great new heights we can go to. Oh my, that's just priceless. Balancing elegance with the strict engineering requirements of spaceship travel. That's not science. It's art. An art I'm particularly skilled at. Am I famous? Well, my many awards and achievements should give you some idea. Oh, why, thank you. Yes, I've recently won my second Grand Nova Award for excellence. It's a great honor, but after receiving so very many awards and distinctions, they all start to blend together. Yes, I do think I deserve some reward for my considerable virtuosity. I've heard some associates singing the praises of a certain something, hailing from Neon. Velocity, I believe it is called. It's some drink or food or something else. I haven't any idea what it actually is, but my curiosity is getting the better of me. You seem to have nothing better to do. Would you care to go fetch me one of these velocities? I don't much care which variety you get. And of course you'll be reimbursed. Ah, fantastic. I look forward to seeing what all the excitement's about. In my line of work, one cannot be small-minded. As Trident's chief architect, no. As their premier artiste, I must find inspiration in everything. Well, fortunately for me, your opinion really doesn't matter. The galaxy must see my latest masterpiece. I see. Hand it over, please. Huh. So this is the velocity I've heard so much about. I must say, I'm cautiously looking forward to partaking in it. I shall see if it lives up to its great expectations. Well, it seems you've done what I asked of you. I promised you reimbursement, so here it is. I'm sure having the privilege to run this errand for me was payment enough for you, but I am a woman of my word. Now, run along, please. I have much work to do. The future of space travel will not craft itself.
Just the person I wanted to see. You got that schematic? And we aim to keep it that way. I need to deliver this to Vina so she can start the reverse engineering process, but first, Ularu wants to see you. I've upgraded your security level so you can access the executive floor, where her office is. Tell her assistant Maeve you have an appointment. I won't be far behind, in case you get lost.
Name an appointment. Confirmed. Ularu is wrapping up a meeting with Genevieve. You can wait here or in the lobby area. I'll let you know when she's ready to see you. I see Imogene Salso is supposed to be with you.
I'm right here, Maeve.
Good. It should just be a moment.
Good. You're finally here. The one I've been hearing so much about. I'm Ularu Chen, head of operations here at Ryujin. So tell me, what do you think of your new job so far? Like taking coffee orders and picking up dry cleaning, I suppose? You're certainly free to quit if you don't like the work, but let's face it up, you're good at what you do. Now, my dear Jeannie here says you've been through the basics of what we do, and pulled off success every time.
5 successful standard assignments, and 1 specialized.
Oh, a few incidents here and there, but nothing we can't handle, right? I happen to have a personal assignment that I'd like to send you on. One that involves meeting up with an outside contact. Jeannie seems to think you're more than capable of handling it.
He's the best operative I've ever hired.
Let's not forget the only operative you've ever hired. Meeting with outside contacts isn't always as straightforward as your past assignments. Some can be fickle or demanding, so you'll need to decide how to handle them and what decisions to make on the fly. I'd use the word trust loosely. We maintain a relationship of sorts. Those who come through get paid, and those who don't, well, they won't live to regret it. Good. Then you shouldn't have any trouble. Your contact is Simon Rychek. He claims to have information on a new project that Infinity Ltd is working on. He said it's a game changer that Ryujin would be especially interested in. So his asking price is the big thing to consider. Finance will reimburse up to 1,000 credits. So if you have negotiation skills, use them. Simon's been working with us for years, so he'll pose no threat to you. He's paranoid, which is why I assume he's never been caught. But his information is typically worth it. Now, in order to confirm your identity, Simon prefers code phrases. I'll let Jeannie give you the details on this one because the concept is just beneath me.
Simon is into sports, so he enjoys any opportunity to talk about them. At some point, he'll casually say, "Looks like the Galactic Raiders are the #1 pick for the Universal Championship this year." You get to respond with, "Razor Derby is the only real sport." Got it?
You see, this is why I could never be a spy. Razor Derby is just terrible. I could never say that.
According to Simon Rychek, it's the only real sport in the galaxy. But if you want a lesson in sports, just ask him. Movies are more my thing when it comes to entertainment. They're a batball team that sucks. They have about as much chance of winning the Universal Championship as Aurora does of going legal outside of Neon. Simon despises batball, though, which is why he crafted that response you give in return. You'll find him in Sidonia, so I hope your ship's fueled. Just look for him above the Lux condos in the plaza.
You spoke very highly of this one, Jeannie. Let's hope he doesn't make a liar out of you. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have some things to take care of.
Well, that wasn't too bad for your introduction. What do you think of Ularu? I'm pretty sure all of our field operatives have shared that sentiment at one point. Ularu loves to remind people how expendable they can be. Let me know if you have any questions regarding your assignment. And enjoy your time in Sidonia. It's certainly no Neon. For you? No. Only Ularu calls me that, and it's not up for negotiation. Only that it's vastly different than Neon. There's not glitz and glam where Sidonia is concerned. And don't worry about it being in UC territory. Simon's smart, so any physical information he may hand off to you won't set off any alarms. Just make sure your ship is clean before reaching Mars orbit. Remember, Aurora is illegal there, so if you have any on you, it needs to stay here. I worked with Simon a lot in my time as a field op. He's a perpetually grumpy man, but I think he just likes to keep his distance. Getting close to people isn't a luxury he can afford in his line of work, much like ours.
You lost? Or just come to ask an out-of-work miner how his day's going? Yeah. I just wish Sidonia had a bit more to offer while I'm trying to enjoy my unemployment. Not much in the way of entertainment around here. Speaking of, looks like the Galactic Raiders are the #1 pick for the Universal Championship this year. You're damn right it is. I heard they were sending someone new. Nice to see you made it. I have information on a deal being proposed between Infinity Ltd and Deimos Staryards. It's my belief that your employers would be highly interested in the details. So I'm upping my price. It's steep, yes. But that is why I'm also offering a little side job if you can't pay up.
Either Ryujin is stiffing us with their expenses, or Laughing Boy over here has an overvalued sense of importance.
For this little tidbit? Believe me, I know exactly what this is worth. I suppose I can't argue with that. I'm glad you understand the position I'm in here. I'm trying to be reasonable here. All right, I'll lower the price, but that's my final offer. Unless you may prefer the side job now? You're going to like it. As you may guess, being an informant is not without its risks. I've heard there's a merc in Saturn's orbit who'd like to cross my name off her list. Milai Liskova. If you take her out and bring me her gun as proof, I'll consider my fee to be waived. She's a freelance mercenary, used to work for Inception Technologies. But she likes her independence, so she went into business for herself. She specializes in killing for the right price. So before you get any second thoughts, you should think of it as doing the settled systems a favor.
I don't know about you, but I'm all in. Can't have a criminal like that running around. Sounds like this one needs to be put down permanently.
More than you know. The woman has no conscience, no guilt. As long as the price is right, you're fair game.
That's all I need to know.
Liskova has a sentimental attachment to that gun. Even named it Ember. She'd never just hand it over. It saved her life once or twice. Seems whenever it falls into enemy hands, it has a tendency to backfire or jam. On top of that, she's superstitious, which makes the gun all the more precious to her.
I'm not a fan of bounty hunters, but this seems a little cold.
You're doing me a tremendous favor. Just know she won't go down easily, so be prepared. Malai's ship is called the Datura, and like I said, you can find her in orbit around Saturn. Just remember to bring the gun back as proof.
That's more like it. So, tell me what you're doing here. I'll decide whether or not to strip you for salvage. I'm looking for a lot of people, and none of them are any business of yours. Oh yeah? From what? You're the only thing around here that looks like a threat to me. So, give me one good reason why I shouldn't feed you to the void. If you think I'm answering any questions, think again. Simon will never stop. The man will hold a grudge until his dying breath. What are you, a therapist? It's none of your business. I admit, it'd be nice to be able to relax a bit. Yeah, right. You know, I'd never... Oh. I get it. All right. You can have Ember. But you'll have to come aboard to get her. You have my word, you won't be harmed. For whatever that's worth.
I'm impressed Simon managed to find someone with guts to come after me. I suppose it shouldn't surprise me that he wants Ember as proof of this. He knows I'd never part with her. The first time Ember and I met, she was pointed right at me. And then backfired on the gloating bastard who thought he'd won. She's saved my life more times than I care to remember. In my line of work, we're always in and out of the fire, if you know what I mean. We were a thing for a while, until the coward sold me out. I'm sure he regrets it, considering I survived the attempt on my life. And now, I live to blackmail him and make his life a living hell. So if Simon told you I wanted him dead, it's a lie. I want him very much alive and suffering. Oh, will you? You really think I'd let you just waltz onto my ship and I'd hand her over? If you knew anything about me, you'd know honesty isn't my strong suit. The only truth here is that I've intended to kill you since the moment you set foot on my ship. I'm pretty sure I've already made up my mind. I can see that. I suppose you have a point. I already have enough targets on me as it is. Okay. Fine. You've compelled me to hold up my end of the deal after all. You get Ember, I'll disappear. Besides, I like to think of this as just a temporary arrangement. She's always found her way back to me before. Why should this time be any different?
What is that, some kind of threat? I don't like any bit of this situation.
Well, good thing you're not in charge.
You ask me? It's a mistake letting this one go. Should have vaporized her when we had the chance.
spoken like so many others in my life, and look who's still alive. You can determine what that means for yourself. I guess Simon chose wisely. For once. Now get off my ship. I've got an identity to arrange and a vacation to plan.
Look who survived the devil herself. Well, either that or you decided to pay up. Wait a minute. You spoke to that lie-weaving terramorph? You should have just outright killed her. Blackmail. You think someone like her could blackmail someone like me? We're ghosts. We're nobodies. We have enough dirt on one another to bury Sidonia herself. If I were a politician or corporate executive, maybe I'd believe her. But she's a liar. You've done this galaxy a favor. So, back to business. You got the gun. I haven't given it much thought. The truth is, I never thought I'd see it. The only thing I know for sure is that I'm sure as hell not going to use it. Just allow an old man a moment. It's strange. I always imagined I'd be happy knowing she's gone. Perhaps I've been running so long now that it will just take time for the relief to set in. You know, why don't you keep that gun of hers? I think it's time I left the past behind. Let's hope you're right. Now, back to business. The information I have is on a deal for something called Project Dominion. I'm giving you 2 slates. They contain surveillance and interaction data for Stanley McMillan, the Infinity rep, that I obtained myself. I'm also giving you a 3rd slate because you're going to need to download the files on Project Dominion off his computer yourself. Best guess is it has something to do with Infinity getting into the neuroamp business. Stanley McMillan seemed to think Ryujin would be the one company threatened by this news, so their entry must involve something big. Oh, they will.
What the hell are you doing in this dump of a city anyway? You draw the short stick at work or what?
Infinity sent me to get Deimos to bite on a deal. He's even got a catchy code name. Project Dominion.
Sounds like world domination to me, buddy. I'd buy into that in a heartbeat.
Right? I'm telling you, this Project Dominion is the real deal. We ought to be selling this to Inception or Quantum.
Hell, you should be in the Astro Lounge making Ryujin Industries beg for that tech.
Ha! That'd be the greatest irony of them all, but not this baby. Dominion is finally gonna put Infinity first. We'll beat Ryujin at their own game.
Well, that took longer than expected. I hope whatever information Simon had was worth it. Project Dominion? That can't be right. Give me a moment to run a decryption. Let's see. Got the key, deciphering, and done. Well, well, well. Looks like our friend Simon wasn't joking. Project Dominion isn't an Infinity Ltd prototype. It's one of ours. They didn't even bother to scrub the name, meaning someone never thought they'd get caught. Come with me. Masako needs to hear about this. Hey,
Ularu? What is this about? Who is this?
This is our latest junior operative. I sent him on an assignment to rendezvous with an informant. But here's the real news. Infinity Ltd has gotten their hands on Project Dominion.
Impossible.
Not only that, they're trying to sell it under their own name.
Of course they are. We need Fines to investigate this immediately. Since you found this information, I am trusting you to help investigate. You see, Project Dominion is confidential. It requires a high security clearance to even know it exists. If Infinity Ltd. Has obtained any information on it, that means we have a very well-connected mole within our corporation. I suppose, since we're trusting you in this investigation, I can give you some details. Project Dominion is our latest advancement in neuroamp technology. Our current neuroamps are all external devices, but Project Dominion would be the first surgically implanted internal neuroamp on the market. The project itself was nearing completion, which is why exposing the mole is of utmost importance. We can't allow any more research to fall into their hands. Because you exposed this information, I have little reason to suspect you. That won't mean you'll be exempt from investigation, of course.
I feel so bad that your megacorp is having problems. I'm sure you cry yourself to sleep on your pile of credits.
Exactly. I want you to go see Dalton Fines, our chief security officer. I'll send him the details. You've brought an enormous security violation to our attention, so I trust your help in any way possible. And thank you. Some operatives may have seized this as an opportunity for extortion. It's good to know your loyalty lies with us.
Good. You're here. So, thanks to your work in Sidonia, I'm told someone here has leaked information on Project Dominion to our adversaries at Infinity Ltd. A mole within the company means a failing in my department. We're initiating Security Directive Theta, which means a full sweep of every employee in this building, Masako and myself included. Directive Theta allows for a third party to conduct the sweep. This way, the results can be objective. It's certainly a failing. But for now, we're focusing on redemption. Directive Theta has one unique case, and that's Ularu Chen. The directive calls for a specialized programmer known as Nix to investigate her. But he'll need your assistance for an unusual assignment. Ularu has the ability to thwart any investigation, so it's imperative she knows nothing about this directive. Her knowledge and talents are why she's the chief of operations, so she is the best equipped to evade detection. Believe me, if this mole slipped past us, it would have slipped past anyone. I won't go into the nature of our practices, but our methods are second to none. Nix will be giving you a program to run on Ularu's computer that will pull any data needed to prove her guilty or innocent. Your job is to infiltrate Ryujin Tower as an anonymous outsider in order to run this program completely off the books. This means your keycard will be turned off, and the security guards in the building will consider you to be trespassing. We employ over 100 members of our security team who rotate floors and shifts. It's possible you'd be recognized, but even so, my orders will be strict. Authorized security personnel only. And you certainly won't qualify, making you an immediate suspect. If you get caught, the guards will follow standard procedure and lock you up in a cell for questioning. Provided you don't provoke them. And I strongly advise against provoking them. These are your fellow employees. We want this to go as smoothly as possible. At least one of us is. In the meantime, I'll ensure all non-essential employees, Ularu included, have left the building, claiming routine security maintenance. During that time, I'll be unlocking access to the tower's ventilation system, which you can utilize to help avoid detection. I'm also issuing you a disruptor, which should help in avoiding casualties should a worst-case scenario turn up. Ularu doesn't know about Directive Theta, but she'll fully expect a building closure while we investigate. As far as she knows, it's standard procedure, one that she no doubt has already made accommodations for. This is why we're bringing in a third party. She won't be expecting to go up against Neon's best. And it's also why secrecy is of utmost importance. Not even our own security detail can know, in case the information leaks. It concerns me that you don't know. A disruptor is a non-lethal weapon. Our subsidiary, Arboron, makes an excellent one that I'll be issuing you. It will stun your target, giving you a chance to get away, but you'll only have so much time before the effects wear off. Good. No one can know about this, not even our own guards. So stealth will be of utmost importance. You'll meet Nix at Madame Sauvage's place. He knows Directive Theta has been enacted.
You got an appointment? 'Cause if not, consider this area reserved. Only when I meet someone for the first time. I like to meet strangers in public for safety reasons. I'm sure you get it, so why not in my favorite bar? Oh yeah, Dalton's little errand runner. I've written up a program just for the occasion, but as Ryujin knows, it's yours for either a price or a favor. Oh, I'm pretty sure it's not. It is a really nice amount of credits. Maybe I am getting a little greedy here. Ryujin is my second best long-term client. You must be joking. Now pay up. I don't have all day. A pleasure, as always. Your job is simple. Just run this little beauty on Ularu Chen's computer, and the program will take care of the rest. Once you're done, bring the slate back to me at my place. Whatever encryption Ularu has is bound to take some real work, more than my little setup here can handle. It's nice to see you know more than just sneaking around and talking a good game. Here's the slate. I'll be waiting. So, you made it. Guess Ryujin's security really is slipping. Just brimming with confidence, aren't you? But I've seen your work in the trade tower, so I'll at least give you some credit. Now, I'll take that program back that I gave you, and let's give the data a look.
This is some serious hardware. I've seen some sweet setups, but wow.
The program I gave you to run on Ularu's computer basically opens an all-access backdoor for me. I can see everything and anything, so let's take a look. Ularu has some impressive encryption on her files. Not that I can't crack it, of course. Circumventing protections, running decryption. This should just take a moment now. Damn, I'm good. That went faster than I thought. I'm saving several files to a slate for Dalton, including access history and anything related to Project Dominion. Adding in new encryption for him as well, so he's the only one that can view these. And done. You're all set. I've got the new encrypted slate. Let me tell you, it looks like fun times ahead for Ryujin. Technically, I'm not supposed to look, but it's kind of hard to not see what's going on while running all my software. Since you came through on your end, let's just say that slate isn't going to paint the best picture for Ms. Imogene Salzo. But bear in mind, You're dealing with some pretty talented people when it comes to falsifying information. I can be sure because I know my business. But like anything, evidence alone can't tell the full story. The rest is up to you and Dalton to piece together. Of course she can't. As much as Corps love their field ops, they're never fully trusted. That's why Ryujin probably has you under surveillance half the time, right? Here's the slate. As usual, always a pleasure doing business with Ryujin.
It seems your time spent in the tower didn't go so well. Our legal team is taking care of the deceased. I only hope you got the data Nix needed. It will be handled once this mess is cleared up. Now, let's see what we have here. I didn't think it was possible. But someone's been accessing Ularu's files remotely. It's quite a complicated trace, too. I'm impressed Nix was able to track all of this. Damn. And there's our culprit. Imogene Salzo, Senior Operations Specialist, and one of the few I had in mind for who could pull this off. Well, the motive could be anything. Credits, grudges, even boredom. Either that, or she's highly displeased with someone at the company.
As corporate heels go, Imogene's all right, I guess. Her being the mole just doesn't smell right to me.
Well, before we make any harsh decisions, I'll need to question her myself. I want you to head to her office and escort her here. We have to make sure she doesn't try anything before I have a chance to speak with her. If she runs, the guilt will be apparent. And you'll have no choice but to dispose of her. As much as I'd like you to subdue her and bring her in, Imogene would never allow it. She knows what fate lies ahead for those who betray this corporation and get caught. I just want to avoid a scene. Sending you keeps the rumor mill at bay. Good. When you're dealing with corporate workers, discerning the truth from the lies is the hardest part.
I'm sure you can tell by now. She isn't here, which is a shame since I have several documents I need her to sign off on. She's always been the master of avoiding desk work. There are work skills and there are life skills. I can't help it if I have both. She hasn't stepped into the office since the maintenance closure, probably abusing her paid time off again. I know for a fact she doesn't have any external meetings or business trips.
April, I finished that research you needed.
Well, that desk work is what keeps your cred stick full, and this company 2 steps ahead. So why are you looking for Imogene? Is she in trouble?
Glad to hear it.
Yeah, no thanks. Getting information out of Dalton is like talking to a wall. Besides, speculation is far more fun. I have Imogene's last location at Frankie's Grab and Go, which we all know is a front for the Sioka Syndicate. You'll want to get executive sign-off if you plan on chasing after her. I'd say Dalton is your best bet.
The Syndicate is bad news. They're probably in bed with Benjamin Bayou. Might even be his puppets. Any way you cut it, this is gonna be tricky.
Is there an echo in the room? Yeah, Frankie's is a front. Crap convenience store on the outside, high-tech hideout on the inside. Of course, the only people that really know that are Ryujin, Bayou, and the Syndicate itself. Your guess is as good as mine, but she's up to something. I could tell she was trying to cover her tracks, but this is my job. And there's a reason I'm in charge of the technicians here. Good. I'd hate to see what sort of drama might get stirred up if you went around him. Or maybe I'd love it. Keep the workplace interesting, right? Word of advice. If you're planning on forgoing authorization and just tiptoeing your way to Imogene, Park your friend at the door. Two's a crowd if you're trying to lay low. Good luck finding Imogene. Oh, and if you do catch up with her, be sure to let her know I had everything to do with it.
No Imogene, I see. Could she really be onto us already? A good question. But with her abilities and connections, the possibilities are too many to speculate on right now. We need to find her first, and address that issue afterward. Of course, Yuko would know. If Imogene's with the Syndicate, I can't just send you after her. You'll need to speak with Benjamin Bayou. We have to make sure he's aware of the situation. If we're lucky, he may even help us get to Imogene. Bayou owns the Sioka Syndicate. For you to walk in there without discussing it with him first could be seen as a violation of our business relationship. Good, because without it, this adds a complexity that we do not have time for. Head over to the trade tower and be discreet. Let Bayou know that you're there on Ryujin's behalf. He may ask for credits or even a favor. Just give him what he wants.
Ryujin's got deep, deep pockets to just give Bayou what he wants and not blink an eye.
It shouldn't be for anything unfamiliar. Bayou is a businessman. Any favor he may request wouldn't be far off from the assignments you've already completed here. You're right. If he asks for anything, tell him I'll guarantee to support his fundraising proposal. You'll know what that means. Just be sure to bring her back here in one piece. If she's truly the mole, she'll have a lot to answer to. If she resists or tries to run, we have no choice but to take it as an admission of guilt. I'm afraid you'll have to dispose of her.
Hold up. Isn't that a bit extreme? You don't want to be able to question this gal first?
Imogene may be a valued operative here, but that's what makes her equally dangerous. We're lucky enough to have her position now, but should she disappear, we may never have another chance.
Yeah, the galaxy is pretty damn big with plenty of places to hide. If I was after someone, if you got the shot, you gotta take it when you can.
I'm glad we're on the same page. It's something I hope our mutual friend here will understand as well. Matters like these are handled within the corporation. The information we're dealing with is too sensitive for law enforcement, and their security leaves much to be desired. It wouldn't be long before the information was either leaked to the press or sold to yet another competitor.
And even if she's a lone wolf, her severance package shouldn't be a bullet.
The risk of Imogene continuing to operate as a traitor is too high. If we don't dispose of her now, she could cause a great deal of harm to this company. She knows the consequences of betraying Ryujin, which makes her dangerous. If the situation does take a turn for the worst, I only ask that you perform a thorough search for any evidence she may have in her possession. I trust you won't let your past relationship cloud your judgment.
I don't recall sending for anyone. What do you want? A heads up. You're telling me you're heading into my own territory? That's not how this works. First, you tell me why, and then if I'm satisfied, I'll graciously grant you permission. As long as it doesn't involve the Syndicate members themselves, I'll tell you what. I'll make sure the Syndicate lets you in hassle-free, provided you do a little something for me. And what mutual benefit would that be? I think we can work something out. All right. You talk a good game. And I suppose if we're looking at a mutually beneficial situation, there's no reason for me not to allow such a small favor. Check in with Ms. Moore at Frankie's. I'll send word along that you're to be expected, so she shouldn't give you any trouble. Fair warning, the Syndicate should let you search any common areas, but if anyone catches you snooping around private quarters, I'll just say, be prepared for some hostilities.
Better have credits to spend. Oh, you're the one getting special treatment. Huh. I knew you was some sort of trouble. I've got one rule for you in there, so it shouldn't be hard to remember. 3rd floor is off limits. They catch you snooping around, and it's open season. I'm more of an honorary member. I let them take up residence in the back, keep things looking legit. They keep this business afloat, so finances don't keep me up at night. That's what I like to hear. For the record, I'm only granting you access because I have to. You'll find that young lady you're looking for holed up in a room almost straight ahead. Just remember to keep your eyes on the prize. The less you consider this an open house, the better.
I had a feeling you'd be the one to come after me. You stay in this business long enough, you get enough favors and connections that can help you see anything coming. Nix owed me a favor, and gave me the heads up. Yes and no, but mostly no. Just hear me out, okay? Yeah? And I didn't look guilty before, based on those files you got from Nix? Ularu set me up. Yes, I've been acting as a double agent, but because she ordered me to. The assignment was meant to deceive, not benefit. And Project Dominion is way above my pay grade. It'd be impossible for me to deliver it. At least, intentionally. Of course. But first you have to understand, she used me to play an unwitting part in this, so I'm the one that takes the fall. That's why I said it'd be impossible for me to intentionally pull this off. I'm not the one with motive here. First, I'm not about to reboot my life. Second, I'm not spending the rest of my life looking over my shoulder for the next field op they'd send after me. Look, I only know about Project Dominion because I wanted to know exactly what I was being accused of leaking. But that tech is dangerous. An internal neuroamp that can theoretically control other people? If the evidence points to me, it's because Ularu used it to set me up. What better way to frame someone than to take control of their mind and have them actually perform the actions?
Just what we need. Ryujin being able to literally control people. They're so goddamn powerful already.
Because she knows I'm the most believable target. I'm the only one at Ryujin with the skills to even come close to being able to pull off a job like this. Power, of course. Corporations maintain their success by any means necessary, but there are some measures Masako is reluctant to take. You may have noticed that none of your assignments directly involve murder. Masako reserves those actions only when it's absolutely necessary. Ularu sees this as a sign of weakness that needs to be dealt with. You want evidence? I've got it. Ularu has the skill to pull this off, but she's also been behind the desk for years now. I knew she'd miss something. This slate holds all the evidence against her. I just need you to deliver it to Dalton. It's the only way I can prove I'm innocent. Nix's contract limits his investigation to Ularu's computer and her network activity. I hacked into building security and was able to recover deleted records of her accessing the Project Dominion prototype. I guarantee the third-party company Dalton is using for his security directive Theta won't even notice it. I was hoping you would. I'm still going to lay low until I hear the coast is clear. As long as Ularu still thinks I'm on the run, she'll remain confident that her plan is working. And I know you don't hear it much around the office, but thanks.
Well, look who's back. So tell me, what did you find out? Inside the Syndicate? That area's off limits, and I think we both know why. Imogene knew exactly what she was doing when she went there. I had a feeling you'd say that. Enjoy your time with Dalton. It'll all trickle back to me sooner or later.
You're back. And Imogene? Not safe? And I hope she gave you a damn good reason why. Of course. We've scrubbed security footage and run through access card permissions and found nothing. The project itself is an enormous security risk, but our lead R&D engineer, Vina Kara, has been working on ways to mitigate this.
You fingered the wrong corporate heel. Ularu's the one you should be going after.
If I'm not mistaken, you appear to be on her side. Not that I blame you, but if Imogen really wants to prove her innocence, she better be prepared to face a strict interrogation. Now, I need to undertake the laborious task of writing up a report to summarize all of this. In the meantime, Masako has requested your presence in R&D. She wants you to meet her in Vinakara's office. Vina's the head of our research and development team. She's the creator of Project Dominion, and often considered the protege of Ray Dakaris, Ryujin's founder. Just take the elevator down to research and development. You'll find Dr. Kara's office to your left as you enter the floor. Masako's been focusing on how to deal with Infinity Ltd. And their knowledge of Project Dominion. I believe her plans rely heavily on you. Once I've examined this evidence, I may need your help in moving forward. And not a word about this to anyone. I'll present what I have to the board once I've completed a full report.
Good, you're here. It's time to put a plan in motion to take full control of this situation with Infinity Ltd. In due time. We don't know to what extent Infinity has taken the current NeuroAmp schematics, so our top priority is completing our own. Let me introduce you to Vina Kara, head of research and development. She'll give you the initial details.
Yes, details. You see, the internal NeuroAmp is supposed to consist of two parts. The first part, the part Infinity stole, handles the manipulative effects. The second part is a shielding modification designed to protect the user against other NeuroAmp users. Well, we can't, but the shielding aspect was never officially a part of Project Dominion. It was an afterthought of how to safeguard our own people from being manipulated, so it was being researched separately as a mod. The research itself was in early stages, too early for board approval, so only myself, DeMarcus, and Masako know about it. Big time. We'd be the only ones unaffected.
No one wants their greatest asset used against them. Once Vina can complete the internal NeuroAmp and shielding mod, the plan is to outfit you with both and have you infiltrate Infinity Ltd. We can't risk the assignment until we know your mind has the necessary protection.
It's your gray matter, but I don't know if you want to be on the literal cutting edge of science.
You're a Ryujin employee, and we need a job done. We've trusted you this far, so I feel it's safe to continue the trend. We expect our employees to do whatever it takes to ensure Ryujin's success. Consider this an opportunity, not a risk. Besides, you're in good hands with Vina. Good. I'm glad you see this as an opportunity.
And I love a willing subject. Now it's just a matter of getting the key ingredient. The final kink in both designs was finding compatible materials to use for conductivity that the human body wouldn't reject. I've finally created the perfect alloy, but it requires a newly discovered refined element called rothosite.
Which is where I come in. We have a confidential contract with Consolidated Mining to gather, refine, and ship the rothosite straight to us. Their last shipment is late, and neither we nor Consolidated Mining have had any communication with the Carinae station. My thoughts exactly.
We need you to head out there, secure the shipment, and bring it back here so Vina can complete her prototype. And I want to know what happened. We need to take any safety measures to make sure this doesn't happen again. Unfortunately, yes, so be prepared. Extensive tests and research were done on the planet, so the chances that this is environmental are slim. And setting up a station like this is second nature for Consolidated Mining, with plenty of redundancies in place to handle mechanical failures.
The mining station is CM Station RC-1. It's on a moon called Carinae 3A in the Carinae system. The shipment should be in the research and control tower, but the outside doors are kept locked down. This keycard will let you enter the mines so you can access the tower from the inside. Good luck.
This area's off limits. Authorized personnel only. An outbreak? I haven't heard anything about this. Are you kidding me? I knew I should have taken the day off. Here's an access card, whatever you need.
Hey, who let you in here? This is a restricted area. Fine. I'll tell you. We're on a private contract with Infinity Ltd. It's for something they call Project Dominion. Dr. Lane and I were instructed to conduct human trials on several volunteers. So far, only one patient has survived. Not everyone can afford neuroamp technology. When it comes to the possibility of getting one for free, we had plenty of candidates to choose from. They understood the risks. We just never thought chance of failure would be so high. Whoa, let's not take it too far. When Infinity hired us, they said human trial authorization was already underway and we'd have the approvals in a matter of days. But days went by and nothing. Every time we'd ask, it was always just days away, but we kept working. Between the money and potential success, it was easy to tell ourselves that they'd come through.
Sean, what the hell is going on here? Who is this? You think we stood by and did nothing? We did everything we could to save them. You've no idea how many hours we spent in surgery and how closely we monitored each and every one of them. This is a research facility where research is being done. We just need more time and experimentation. Sean spoke the truth. We thought the approval would arrive any day, so we continued with the project. By the time we started to catch on, it was already too late. We were too immersed in the lie. Infinity is the one that should take the blame. We're victims here as well.
No, he's right, Ken. It's what you and I both deserve after going along with this mess. How long have we talked about walking away or refusing to work? We oversaw the death of 9 people here, and it may as well be 10. Infinity may have lied to us, but they also paid us well enough that we did nothing.
You'd let some stranger like this just ruin our careers?
Yes, and you're going to let them too. Go ahead. Get whatever information you need to take this place and Infinity down. I'll make sure Dr. Lane remains cooperative.
Is that my beautiful shipment? You were right about this one, Masako. Looks like it. This should be more than enough. Now, I shall excuse myself and get to work on finalizing this prototype.
I hope
So,
we're keeping you busy.
what did you learn about CM Station RC-1? The mercenary group? Only that you mean business if you hire them. They're not known for subtlety, and don't care if they leave a trail of bodies in their wake. I take it they were at the station? Lucas must be desperate if he hired them to collect the Rothicite. Were there any survivors? Our station on Carinae 3A and Consolidated Mining's contract were both confidential. We had no reason to believe they'd be under any threat. Of course, we had no reason to believe we had a mole, either. Corporate culture may have its ugly side, but that doesn't mean we've lost our humanity. Our moves are strategic and precise, as you should know. The moment we justify the slaughter of innocents is when we go from competitive to criminal. Sicking Ecliptic on a station with nothing but miners and scientists? Corporations can sink low, but this is a new level. Now, I also had a report that you were spotted at the clinic. I take it you traced the shipment there? Our technicians are thorough, but they aren't that thorough. Your ship docking there simply caught their attention is all. But on the off chance it was related to your assignment, they're currently combing through the clinic records as we speak. Dr. Lane? I believe Vina is familiar with his work, specializing in neurosurgery. Were you able to determine what he was doing at the clinic? The clinic serves all, but it can't be denied that they require credits to run. In most cases, the clinic is also the best choice for research. Not everyone has the resources to have decent medical facilities like us on site. So, it sounds like Lucas has reached a new level of desperation to ensure his future as CEO.
Typical megacorp bullshit. Focusing on CYA and the bottom line, not even blinking at the people that die along the way.
I'll make sure Yuko's team extracts every bit of information they can from the clinic's database on this. Between hiring Ecliptic and unauthorized human trials, we have enough to take Lucas down for good. And with the Rothicite secure, it's almost time for us to make our move. Not long, according to her. She and DeMarcus have everything prepped and ready. I believe it's just a matter of creating the alloy and molding it according to her design. Exactly. Without the Rothicite, their research comes to a halt. Head up to the executive floor and speak to Dalton. He has an update for you on the mole's identity. I've called a meeting, and I expect you to attend. It's time to put the final plan in motion.